Let's talk a little bit about timing and habits and sequencing, because I do think that it's an important lever that you can pull on for building habits. So first is, as a general rule, I think the earlier in the day you do something, the better odds are that it's going to happen. The more of the day that goes on, the more real estate there is for something to interrupt you, for somebody else's agenda to get put on top of yours, for somebody to need something or an emergency happens. It's just, you decrease the likelihood that the habit's going to occur. So generally speaking, I think stacking a group of habits earlier in the day is probably good. Having said that, there are 24 hours in everybody's day, but each hour is under different levels of control for you. So I think the question is not like, do you have enough time? The question is, which of your hours are within your control, or which of your hours can you shape better than others? Some hours are a lot more in your control than others. Like if you have somebody who doesn't have kids, then meditating at 7 a.m. might be a great time to do it. But if you have like toddlers running around and trying to get pants on your kid, then, that's not a good time to try to do that habit. And so you need to figure out which of your hours are under your control. And then there's also circadian rhythm stuff and trying to time things up, especially physical things like working out or whatever. Like, sure. So we can try to do some optimization there if you have the control over that hour. The other thing I think that is important to ask is, which of my habits are upstream from other good things happening? So for me, I know that probably if I was going to pick the big pillars of what really makes a good day for me, do I get a workout in? Do I read? It really doesn't even have to be long. It could just be 5 minutes, but do I do any reading? And then do I write one sentence? Those are kind of my like measures. Now, of course, for me, the hardest part is choosing what to write. Once I actually pick what I'm writing about, then it's easy for me to get going further. So I know that there's a lot more that comes after that one sentence. But those are kind of the big professional ones that I'm like, if I do those three, I usually have a pretty good day. The reading and the writing are easier for me after I work out. So the workout is kind of the linchpin one.
Why do you think that is? Is it that you dispel a certain amount of nervous energy?
I think some of it is just the post-workout high. I kind of have that clarity, an hour or two after I work out. So that I think that helps. I think some of it is also, I like to work out, not early in the morning, but in the morning. And I don't know, it just like gets me going for the day. It like changes my state. Mm-hmm. I feel more energized after that.
What time do you wake up and what time do you tend to work out? Not that people should map exactly to this, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, good caveat. Usually I'm waking up around 7, and usually I'm working out around 10 to 11, somewhere around there.
For me, and certainly there are some data to support this, but also other timings that 3 hours after waking or 11 hours after waking seem to be ideal times to work out.
So I'm kind of around that zone. Yeah. And then the other thing is the writing is way easier if I do the reading first. So here's just kind of two little philosophical thoughts about it. First is, almost every thought that you have is downstream from what you consume. And so when you choose who to follow on social media or which podcast to listen to or which book to read or what YouTube channel to watch, you are choosing your future thoughts in a sense. Whatever fills up your feed is going to spark the next thought that you have next week or a month from now. So you should choose very carefully what those things are. I don't think we usually put that kind of weight on it, but if you want better, more productive, more creative thoughts, then you need better, more productive, more creative inputs. And so, I had this thing happen where this was, I've been writing online for 14 years now. And first couple of years, I had this pretty rapid growth, and I got to 100,000 email subscribers. And for some reason, once I got to 100,000, I got in my head about it. What I should have done was just say, things are going well, keep doing what you're doing. But instead, I was like, now a lot of people are paying attention, so it has to be really good. So I thought, let me spend even more time writing and make it better. But in fact, the writing got worse. And my theory now is that I was writing more, but I was reading less. And so I had fewer inputs, fewer sources of inspiration, fewer sparks for new, interesting, good thoughts. And so the writing declined. And now I look at it more like driving a car. You have to take the car to the gas station and fill it up with gas. That's like reading. But the point of having a car is not to just sit at the gas station all day and just stay there and keep filling up. You also want to drive and go on an adventure and go see some things, which is what writing is like. But if you never stop, then you end up stranded on the side of the road. And so they work well together.